technology as an organization, and the church is an organization, and the high school, etc., is an organization. So it's separating an organization now. So an organization is set up for a particular purpose. Now, when we look at a business is set up to provide a good or a service. So a good, providing a laptop, selling a laptop. We go to the groceries and we pick up items. We go to the clothing store, we pick up items. We are all familiar with Flow and Digicel providing services, but in a business is set up to provide a good or a service to make a profit. So if you are not really making a profit as a business, then something is wrong. So you need to really look at why is it that a business is not making a profit, and you'll have to probably, what we term, you may have to re-strategize. So John the shoemaker and the shoemaker and the shoe repairman is a business. Miss Jones, the shopkeeper. Shaggy as a music producer. Music is a business, and we are all familiar with so many of our music producers who are producing business, producing items, either items for profit or providing a service. Miss Robinson, the chicken farmer, running a business, and we are all familiar with Grace Kennedy. So many years ago, Grace had a little, at what we call a tingle. What a way Grace tastes great. But Grace, we are familiar with Grace. Now, why does one set up a business then? And I'm showing this out for, you can put your question in the chat and we look back at it. But I have a few reasons here why we would be setting up a business. We set up a business to make a profit. And sometimes somebody will say to you, well, you know, I just want to be my own boss. I have been working for so many years. I go to work 8 to 4, but I think that if I go into my own business, I can be my own boss. I own the business. I dictate the terms. Most of the profits generated in the business will be coming to me. So that's another reason why one would set up a business. And then what do I mean by to provide a needed service or a product? So I look down the road and I realized that in my community, there is persons have to travel a little distance, a mile or two, to go and purchase their vegetables on a weekly basis. So I decided, and I'm going to set up a business, a shop, where I provide fruit and vegetables down the town square. So because I have identified that there is a need for vegetables, fruits and vegetables in my area. Some time ago, I realized that the community in which I live, persons kept saying to me, you know, that we really need some fresh, nice chickens. We are tired of going to the supermarket and taking up those frozen chickens. And so I went into the business of rearing chickens. I reared about, say, 300 chickens at a time. They're slaughtered on a Saturday morning, and by Saturday afternoon, fresh chickens are delivered. And so I'm satisfying a need because I realize that that product is in need and is needed. And so from time to time, persons go into business because they have recognized that there's a need for that service or right. Now, sometimes also another reason for going into business is that we have ideas, we are innovative, we are creative, and we want to be engaged and we want to be useful and productive. And sometimes some persons say, you know, if I get up, I mean, a lot of the rich people are people who have started business some years ago. So I want to be wealthy, I want to be successful. So I'm going to go into business. And so these are some of the reasons why one would embark on getting into business. Now, so I started off by saying that we are looking at entrepreneurship, and entrepreneurship is really satisfying a need. So I start a business, but I'm starting the business, as I mentioned earlier, in satisfying a need for a good or a service. But then I want to make a profit. I want to be wealthy. I want to be successful. So therefore then, how do I, as a business person, become successful? I am a successful entrepreneur is one who starts a business and manages it effectively and efficiently. Or you may decide to purchase an existing business. So for example, I mentioned that I started a pig rearing business, pig rearing and chicken business. And then after a while, I sold it. So somebody bought an existing business from me because it was operating. And if I had started my my vegetable grocery business, vegetable and fruit business, and after a while I felt that, well, I wanted to move on, So an entrepreneur can purchase an existing business. But then as an entrepreneur, you want to have a vision. And what do we mean by a vision then? We are looking down the road. So my business is turning over. And what do you mean by turning over? Is that my business is generating, say, $20,000 monthly as profit. But I want my business to be turning over $1 million down the road. So therefore, my vision is a business that is larger than the one I have now, and one that is going to be generating larger and larger profit. So how do I now get into the whole matter of making sure it's successful? Now, it is very important then that once we speak of entrepreneurship, or a successful entrepreneur, we are saying that for us to be successful as entrepreneurs, we have to be creative, we have to be innovative, new things, we have to be disciplined. So it's not a matter that we are deciding that, well, when I was working for Shamar, I used to just, I come in, I'm supposed to be at work at 8, but I turn up at 8:15 or 8:30, and I give the excuse that, well, I woke up late, or I missed the bus, etc., etc. And therefore, I may say to myself, well, I'm running my own business now, so I can sleep late. But then the entrepreneur, the successful entrepreneur, has to get out of bed early, and has to be on time, has to be disciplined, and has to be reliable, in the sense that if I have a commitment to deliver, so I go to my shoemaker, and he says to me, oh, you'll get the shoe on Saturday. So on Saturday, I turned up and it is not ready. He said, okay, I'm sorry, come back on Monday. And then following Monday, it's not ready. And so I gave him another 3 or 4 days, and eventually I received the shoe. But then now, for us to be a successful entrepreneur, that is not on. If I make a commitment, I have to maintain that commitment. And if I agree with you for the job to be done for X, and you do not tell me now that, well, when we agree that's going to be $3,000, and when I come to collect the shoe, oh no, I didn't realize that I had to do some extra work, so I have to charge you for. That is not really on. So that's not honesty. So to be successful, these are right. You have to stick to the task, and you have to be focused. So remember, we spoke about I'm now doing $20,000 profit per month, but I want to do $1 million down the road. So therefore, I have to be focused. How am I going to get to that? Right. I have to be farsighted. I cannot only look at the now. I have to look at what's happening down the road. So these are some of the things now that we need to when we speak of a successful entrepreneur. And when you embark on your entrepreneurial journey, these are some of the things that we have to recognize that will make us successful. Right. Now, additionally, to be successful, you have to take risk. So I am decided then that I'm going to get into chicken rearing. It may be successful, it may not be successful. Some persons may dissuade you, but most of the successful business persons, successful entrepreneurs, are persons who took the risk and went there and went in what we term, we go into the deep end. We have to be persistent and we have to be determined. We have to adapt to change. So in today's world, for example, you folks are keyed on information technology. So we have to adapt to the new modalities as far as entrepreneurship and the business is concerned. So we have to be a planner, we have to be adventurous, we have to manage time, reliable, honest, as I mentioned earlier. We have to be persons of action, ability to get along with people, and we have to be customer-centric. What do I mean by customer-centric? That the customer is king, the customer is the first. The reason why the business exists is to satisfy the customer. The reason why you're hired in a particular organization is because the organization has customers who have to be served. So at all times, we have to have the customer as the center of our planning and our deliberations. Right, now, so for the business to be successful, we have to do some aspects of marketing. And what makes a business successful then? Superior customer service. Good quality goods provide top-class service, as I mentioned. We have to generate profit, and then we have to continue for the business to be successful and for the business to continue. You have to have knowledge to manage the business. And then there has to be financing in place. So we're not going to start a business as on what you could say term broke pocket. We are going to have the funds. So we have to identify what are the funds that are needed and where do I get those funds? And so that we have to now find an organization or someone who is going to help us to get the business going. Good. Now, we spoke about we have to market the business. People have to know about the business. That's what marketing is all about. What is the business doing? Where is the business located? What is the business offering? What price, etc. So when we speak of micro business, and this is one of the questions that I raised that you would respond in the discussion, etc. What do we mean by a micro business? Now, many micro businesses fail because they do not pay attention to marketing. The owners of small business should understand marketing and marketing the business to be successful. So we have to know what is it that we're delivering? Who are we delivering to? Why are we delivering that to that individual? Why does that individual, that customer, want what we are providing? So marketing is key. And so you're going to respond to my question in terms of when you speak of micro businesses, what are we speaking about? So marketing then is everything you put in place in order for your product or service to have the potential customers that you need for them to have. So remember, we spoke about we have to satisfy the customer needs. The reason why the organization the business is in place, the reason why I want to be a successful entrepreneur is that I have to ensure that the customer is king, right? So we want to, in order to maximize or realize maximum profits from the business, it is important that we satisfy the customer and we also, we are realizing maximum profits. Now, marketing then, and then another question that I have, which you would respond to, is what is MSME and how important are MSMEs in the Jamaican business environment, and what is needed to create more MSMEs, and how do I become an MSME, and what are the benefits, what is it that is there in the Jamaican economic environment to assist the MSMEs. So the activities that relate to identify the target market, you have to determine the potential
Okay, so we may be having some technical issues with Dr. Williams. So I'm gonna just check in to see what's happening on his end. So in the meantime, everybody, I'm just gonna wait for him to come on. Apologies for the technical difficulties, but I will give you guys an update very soon. All right, everybody. So we're just dealing with some of the stuff in the back end here. We are getting Doc back online. So in the meantime, please engage in our chats that we have here on Zoom and look forward to Doc coming back on to continue the presentation. I'm also going to take this opportunity to welcome one of our other facilitators of the bootcamp from UTECH, which is Erica Donaldson. She is a lecturer from the University of Technology, and she is here with us. Erica, I don't know if you're listening, but welcome to the bootcamp.
Yes, I am. Thanks much.
All right, awesome. I just wanted to cover, will you be presenting alongside Dr. Williams today, or will you just be facilitating?
Can you repeat for me, please?
Sure. I was wondering if you will be presenting alongside Dr. Williams, or will you just be a facilitator for today's proceedings?
Well, I'll be facilitating the section on customer service.
Okay, understood. So you'll be presenting after Doc, or?
Yes.
Okay, all right, no worries. So I reached out to Beverly. She had let me know that Doc is coming on shortly. They just had a power outage in their area, so
Okay.
we're just waiting for him to come back on.
Okay.
Sure.
Dr. Williams is back in the room.
Hey, Doc, glad to see you back.
Good. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, seeing you, hearing you, seeing your screen.
Oh,
back
beautiful.
and ready.
All right, thanks. Sorry about that. Okay, so let me go back to where I was. Okay, right, good. So now, we were at marketing. So these things happen. We have to prepare for them. So we were now looking at the MSME, and we were looking at the importance of marketing. And this screen is now like, why do MSMEs fail in marketing and planning? And so now they have to move away from the gut feeling, in this sense that, I just think this will work. What is needed is some level. I just think this will work. What is needed? What is needed is some level of research. Get some advice. Seek some advice. Read what is happening, and do not just go because I think it will work. It's important now that some level of research, some level of questioning, some level of guidance, mentorship is there. So that in moving forward with the business, with the marketing plan, we have to decide exactly where do we want the organization to be? What are our objectives? We develop some goals, we draw up an action plan, we decide on segmenting market. What do I mean by segmenting the market? The market can be a large number of persons, but do we want to target professional ladies? Do we want to target truck drivers? Do we want to target farmers based on the nature of the business? Do we want to target housewives if we're in the grocery business? So that's what we mean by a target. We cannot be all things to all persons. We have to decide who are we going to target. And then now we're going to have to look at the 4 Ps: price, product, promotion, and place. What price do we charge? What is the nature of our product? How do we promote it? How do we market it? How do we get people to know about our product? And the pricing is very important. We do not want to overprice our price, what we term price ourselves out of the market. We have to ensure that we price in order to make enough profit. And what is it that is costing us to provide a good or service? And so we have to look at the cost and then put on additional on that for selling the product and then making our profit. The competition, what is the competition doing? What is the image that we want to portray out there about our product? And there are some different types of pricing strategy, which I leave you to for the discussion: skimming, penetration, discounts, credit, in terms of how do you approach your pricing? Where are you going to put your business? Is it a business that has to be on, should be online, or do you want to, you would have heard the term brick and mortar. A brick and mortar store is a store that is, a physical store. And then in today's world, some organizations, so if you think of Amars, for example, you can order your goods online, your dresses or your shirts or your pants online and have it delivered, or you can walk in the store. So Amara has a brick and mortar and is also online, right? So, but if it's a type of business, so for example, my grocery business, my fruit and vegetables business, I would have it as a brick and mortar. So I would want to identify a location where there's a large group of people passing at any one time, and therefore they'll be able to patronize my business. Promotion then, and in today's world, a lot of promotion is on social media, TV, radio, newspaper, etc. What is the best way of getting the message about my business out there in the world? And then now we have to decide, as far as our product is concerned, what is the brand name? What name do I give to the product that makes it attractive? What name do I give to my business to make it attractive, so that once I speak of, once somebody mentions the name, I know exactly what I'm speaking about. Now, how can I be successful as a business person? Have a basic knowledge of finance and accounts, have a reliable source of funding, whether it's from government, from family, identify a viable market. We do not want to have a market that dries up in 1 year. We want one to continue. We need ongoing support from other business, from our suppliers, from our customers, etc. And then we have to develop an understanding of the environment in which you operate. What do I mean by the environment in which you operate? That's a question that I want you to feedback onto. Right, so different types of business. You have 3 main type of what we call forms of business: the sole proprietor, the partnership, or the limited liability company. The sole proprietor, in simple terms, we speak of it as a one-person business. Then the partnership, a group of persons coming together, and we're familiar with lawyers being partnerships, or professionals being a partner in, you'd say John Brown is a partner in the law firm, or you'd say Shimar is a partner in this medical team, etc. But outside of that, you have partners like architects. So to a large extent, most partnerships are professionals, but you also have a number of persons who partner to have other types of businesses. And then your limited liability company is where you have a number of persons coming together. The business is registered, and then you have different shareholders. And then eventually, as the business grows in size, you eventually make it public. So your limited liability company can be private, and then it can move to public. Another area that we'll be discussing, and the advantages and disadvantages. So moving forward then, in moving into business, we have to survey the landscape, get the necessary information, come up with a business name, do some research, especially with your marketing. And so we do a feasibility study, a business plan, and then in our discussions, we can speak up what's a feasibility study, what's a business plan. Then we have the business registered with the Companies Office of Jamaica, secure funds, and we launch the business. We're going to market the business. We must file our annual returns, pay our taxes, provide high-level customer service, always have the vision, as we mentioned, to ensure that the business grows. We have the appropriate staff. Appropriate staff is that they are customer-centric, as we spoke earlier, willing to be part of the business. And then we, as the business person, we seek out to update information from time to time. Right, and so the time given to me is what I wanted to cover. So I am available now for, I think Mrs. Donaldson comes in now, and then we will have some question and answer sessions after. Thanks a lot for your participation, and sorry for that little break, but I blame JPS for that. Okay, over to you, Chadwick. Who takes over from me?
I will step in. I see Chad is on, so I'll let Chad do the talking. Chad?
Hello.
Hello, Chad.
Good
afternoon.
I'm doing fine. Well, I haven't seen very many questions being posted in the discussion, but something that seems to be on the minds of most of our learners would be, how do you get started, or rather where, in this day and age, when you have, let's say, nothing, but you really want to break out into the market?
Okay, well, the what is now happening is that the first order of business is to come up with a business idea and do what I term a little feasibility study. What does that mean? That means that I'm going to say, so let's use an example, for example. I see a shoemaker. I'm from St. Elizabeth, and I see a shoemaker that makes very good, genuine leather shoes, but he doesn't have the ability to market it, to get it out. Now and again, somebody passes by, but he can probably produce 10 pairs of genuine, stylish leather shoes on a weekly basis. And so I come up with the idea, what about my partnering with him? He makes the shoes, I set up a business, and I market, and we share the returns. So what would I do then? I would now say, well, okay, I would have to do a little research, a little feasibility study. Where can I sell those shoes locally? And can I get those shoes online and have some online marketing? So I go to Jamaica Business Development Corporation, and I give them the idea, and they would provide me with some guidelines. I go to the Development Bank of Jamaica, and they have a facility where they will now provide some level of finance, some level of guidance. So there are a number of organizations around. DBJ, Development Bank of Jamaica, Jamaica Business Development Center, University of Technology Jamaica, and a number of other entities that will guide you along. And as we speak, there are large amounts of funding funding being financed being there. Once you have an appropriate idea, you move along. So the first order of business is, what is it that I want to do? And secondly, no, I have to do a little research. I have to speak to some people. Now, sometimes individuals don't necessarily want to speak to anybody because they say, if I do that, they're going to take away my idea. Or you may have heard comments like, I go to the bank to get a loan and the bank takes away my idea. It may happen once in a while, but it's not a general thing. So in response to your question then, what is it that, have I identified an area that I think I can go into business? Come up with a business name. What is it that I want to do? And then now I want to say, well, okay, as I said, I use my example, shoes. Another example, I want to set up an establishment where I do green groceries and fruits. Where, so the bottom line is exactly where, what's the location? And I'll have to go now and look at the location and say, how many people are passing through on a regular basis? You do a little survey and come up with an idea of, well, this spot is an ideal one. Now, where will I get the fruits and vegetables from? Fresh, attractive, etc., etc. And then now the important thing is, where do I get the guidance? Where do I get the funding? So there are quite a large number of institutions that provide, if you were to go online and link up with the Jamaica Development Bank of Jamaica, or link with the Development Bank of Jamaica, you would now get an idea of the list of organizations. I'll just give you three: Development Bank of Jamaica, University of Technology Jamaica, Jamaica Business Development Center, and they are in the business now of providing guidance as to where you can get funding, where you can get advice, etc. But that's how we start. And then now as I mentioned, you determine now, are you going to have a brick and mortar organization, or are you going to be online, or both? And if you're going online, who are you going to be targeting? Yeah. Is there a gap? Would I have covered that question?
That's excellent advice, Professor Williams. I'm seeing the chat has actually been overrun with quite a few curious thoughts from the students, but at this rate, if we went through all of them now, Miss Donaldson wouldn't get the chance to present. So if you could wait to the end, I'll record all the questions and then we can have a proper Q&A session at the end of Miss Donaldson's presentation. Is that fine?
Yes, that's fine with me, right. So the host would know, I'm co-host, so that I'll just be on standby basically at this point.
Right. Miss Donaldson, are you here and able to present? Miss Donaldson?
As we wait for Mrs. Donaldson to come on and have set up, I'm just. Oh, she's here. Okay.
Are you hearing me now?
Yeah, man, hearing loud and clear.
Okay. Are you ready for me to share my slide?
You can take 5 minutes to prepare. I'll just set up the stage for you to come on. So once you're ready.
I'm already prepared.
Okay, you're good to go. All right. So without further ado, during the interest of time, I'd like to have Mrs. Erica Winita Donaldson, who is a lecturer.
Erica Donaldson. Mrs. Erica Donaldson.
Okay, my apologies.
I don't know the other part of the name where it came from.
Okay, my apologies. I was looking at the email. All right. So without further ado, Mrs. Erica Donaldson, who is a lecturer at the University of Technology, will now take over to have her segment on customer service. Erica?
Okay, thank you. I think Dr. Williams is still sharing, so I'm not able to share.
All right,
All right,
so
so while we're waiting on Dr. Williams to close out, good afternoon, everyone. I hope the session has been enlightening and refreshing thus far, and of course, informative. Hope you guys are learning some new things and reminder of some important elements as it relates to entrepreneurship. Dr. Williams. Dr. Williams, you need to take down your slide. Okay, all right, thank you. Is it possible to unmute our participants for 2 seconds? I would love to hear their voices.
all right, everybody. So you are now able to unmute. I ask everyone to unmute.
How are we doing? How are we doing, everyone?
I'm doing good. Yes.
Okay,
Doing great.
all right, good. Enjoying the session thus far?
Yes, miss.
All right, good. Anything that stood out?
Repeat.
Anything that stood out thus far? Based on what Dr. Williams discussed?
No, miss.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right, so you can mute. So we're now going to discuss customer service, and of course, customer service plays an important.
Miss, you're muted.
Okay, all right. I was saying that we are now going to discuss customer service, and of course, customer service plays an important role in the success of where is my, sorry, I have so many things on. God, please, I'm writing a research paper at the same time, so in between, I just have so many things open that I can't afford to close out anything right now. Okay. All right. All right. So as I was saying before, customer service plays an important role in the success of one's business, especially small businesses, guys, because it's much easier for a small business to fail than a large corporate company. And it is also easier for a small business to have a good system in place when it comes down to customer service. Now, there are a few things that we're going to run over. We don't really have a long time based on everything or most things that I would want to go through with you guys, but just here are some of my highlights. So I want for you guys to understand that we have different types of customers, right? So we have our internal customers and we have our external customers. And we will take a look at the difference between the two groups. I want for you to understand that as a customer, whomever is a customer at the appointed time, they have rights, right? And whether or not we agree with those rights, we should ensure that we are respecting their rights, acknowledge and respect. I don't think we're going to touch on communication much, but just to highlight a few things. No, there is a particular question that I want to ask you guys, and it's not the question that is on the screen. No, based on customer service, what do you believe is the foundation of customer service? What is customer service built upon? Anyone? You can probably, okay, Raja, go ahead.
Yes, miss. Are you hearing me? Hearing me, miss?
Loud and clear.
So what I think the foundation of customer service is to basically help out and provide important information to customers of any kind, whether potential customers or people who just need advice, anything at all. That's what I think it is, miss.
Okay. All right. Thanks much for that response, Roger. Um, you're you're basically giving me the definition of customer service, which is good. But there's a particular keyword that I am looking for, and guess what? That keyword can also come out of the definition that you gave, but I just want that one word. It's a keyword, and you can use it to summarize your definition. I have another hand. This is, how do you pronounce that name? Chantrell? Please don't laugh at me. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon. The customer service is a communication between two parties into which one asks a question, a service in which they get the response, hoping to gain that whatever they ask is provided and answered, and the communication is cordial and respectful at all times.
Okay. All right. So another definition. Thanks much. Still looking for that one word. I think Brianna, your hand was up.
Recording. I was saying that customer service.
One word.
Assistance.
One word. Are you hearing me?
No, I was saying the word that comes to mind was assistance or to connect.
Okay. Okay, so you said assistance or to connect. Okay, so get a little warm. Anyone else? Anyone else would like to go? I'm not seeing all the hands. Michaela?
Yes, you said the word starts with T, right?
No, I didn't say what it started.
All right. So I had the
What is
words
one word?
communication, and I had a hyphenated problem solving.
Okay, so communication, problem solving. All right, well, I like the thought process. Roger, you still have a question? Or you have a question or you have a comment?
Yeah, miss. So like, I'm trying to wonder, what that one word which you are talking about is.
Okay. So you're gonna share. What are your thoughts?
Me, miss?
Yes.
My thoughts on customer service?
No. That one word. That one word upon which customer service is built.
Miss, could we have a second clue?
Begins with R.
Relate. Respect.
Relationship.
Relationship. Woo! Give yourself a nice round of applause. Fantastic. So guess what happened with all of what you have said? What you're doing is that you're developing what? A relationship with others, both the internal as well as the external customers. So I want you to always keep it in the back of your mind that when I'm working with someone, what am I doing? I'm developing a relationship, right? When I am serving a client, what am I doing? I'm developing a relationship. And that will determine how you develop the relationship will determine the level of success. Good. All right. So let us look at so we have already received some definition, your definition, and guess what happened, guys? Though we might have different definitions, it does not necessarily mean that you're incorrect. We can have different definitions and we're all correct. Good. What is important when you are defining most things is the utilization of what we consider as keywords. Now let us look at what it is that we have on the screen. So we are seeing here, it is saying the art of building relationships with new, so the new ones, they're just coming in, existing customers, those are the repeat ones. They have already been here, they're doing business with us, and they're still spending with us. Solidifying the loyalty of wavering customers, right? And we're talking also about recovering defective customers. Now, let us dissect this definition for a bit. So the first thing that we want to do is to separate them somewhat. So the new ones, that is clear, we understand it. The existing customers, we understand that as well, right? They have already spent money with us. We don't want to separate the external from the internal, so they have already worked with us, situations like that. Now, can anyone tell me about the wavering customers? Who are they? Who are the wavering ones? Anyone? Nelia? Nelia?
Naalia, miss.
Nahalia? Okay.
I think that wavering customers are potential, well, they can be potential customers who are interested in purchasing your service or good, but they are not fully satisfied. They are kind of on the ledge. They're contemplating their decision, and it can also be customers who have already purchased a product, but because of something, maybe some defect with the product, or maybe some bad review or something, they are not fully or 100% convinced in your product or service offering. Or it can be, I just forgot the next one. Oh, okay, yes,
give yourself
a customer who is getting like they're getting a better deal elsewhere. So they already purchased from you and they're getting a better deal elsewhere. So they don't really have much to stick around.
Okay, A++, if that was an exam question for you. Give yourself a round of applause. Excellent, excellent. So you didn't just look at it to say, these are customers, but maybe they're not 100% satisfied or whatever. You know, as you have said, they're on the ledge. You look at it to say, okay, maybe they're getting better service or a better deal elsewhere, or maybe they're potential customers. They're wondering, they're wearing their mind as to whether or not they should do business with you or they should go elsewhere for whatever reason. Or, you know, my neighbor told me about them, but my neighbor wasn't 100% satisfied, and I want to go and do business with them, but you know, I'm still thinking about it. I'm not 100% sold on the idea. Good. And then we have the defective customers. So when we talk about recovering the defective, supposed to be defective customers, what we're talking about here? Anyone? Come on, talk to me now. Go ahead.
Repeat.
Defective customers, who are they?
Defective customers.
Defective. No one?
I'd like to give it a try.
Okay, go ahead. That's Michaela?
Yes.
Okay,
so in this sentence on screen, I see it said recovering defecting customers. So I'm going to guess that these are customers who have left from our business. They're no longer buying our product, or they're no longer enlisting our services. So I'm going to guess that these are the persons that we would appeal to them via commercials, advertisements, something of the sort. We would put in measures to get those persons back to our business. Say, hey, remember us, you bought from us a long time ago. Maybe you didn't have the best customer service, or for some reason or another, you left our brand to go to another brand, but we want you back because here's why we want you back. So that's my guess.
Okay. So as you have rightfully said, they're no longer doing business with you for whatever reason, but they used to do business with you, right? They weren't satisfied, or service, or poor quality product. Could be so many things. And you are now going to look at, okay, how can I get them back? Basically, that is exactly what it is, right? And very good. Now let's dig in a little bit further. So even though I have here that customer service equals accountability plus delivery, I want you to think about, instead of just customer service, quality customer service. So when we talk about accountability, we're really talking about, okay, holding myself accountable. What role did I play into this, or what role can I play into this situation, this scenario, right? And delivery. How will I now deliver my service, right? And how do customers want to feel? They want to feel valued. And guess what happened? We are coming from an age where, okay, customers were highly price sensitive. We're still price sensitive, but guess what? We also appreciate and love quality customer service. So we are willing to pay a little bit more for better service. It's not just about saving, because if that is gonna come with poor service, disrespect, delays, and things like that, then we don't necessarily want to be a part of it. I prefer to go the extra mile, spend a little bit more for good service. Now, as I've said before, as a customer, I have rights. What are some of these rights? And you guys would have gone through, probably you would have gone through the slides already, because I know that they were already uploaded. What are some of the rights of the customer? Remind me.
Opinion.
To have their opinion. Okay. Go ahead. I see the hands. You can go ahead, guys, one at a time.
Okay, so there's the right to redress, the right to a safe environment, the right to ensure that the products that they're using are safe.
Okay. All right. I like that. Why? Because it's they're not on my list, so that's good. Okay. Next.
I want to add the right to get quality service or product or good, and also the right to be informed. Did Michaela say that?
No, I don't think she said to be informed. All right, fantastic. Now, these are some of your rights as a customer, or our rights as a customer. So guess what happened? It might come off a little bit overbearing at times when customers are negotiating, but guess what? It is their right to do so, right? So another thing, it was said about having an opinion as well. It is their right to ask a question, and it is their right to make an informed decision. However, if you do not answer their questions, which they would have asked, then you have taken away their right to make an informed decision, because they cannot make informed decision without having information, without having prior knowledge. Good. To expect high standards and quality service as well. That is the norm. When we get great service, we'll talk about it. Yes, sometimes when we get poor service, there is no doubt as to whether or not that news is going to spread like wildfire, because quality service is the norm. That is expected. That is what it is supposed to be. Did you also know that it is our right to feel personally rewarded as a customer? It is within our right if we want to feel that way. And yes, service providers are not necessarily obligated to do all of these things, but just bear in mind that it is within our right as a customer to feel this way, to want these things, right? To enjoy customized service. So when they ask, when you go to a restaurant, for example, and they offer you a glass of water, and you ask, okay, do you have lemon? Can you squeeze some lemon in it, or do you have lime or whatever? They're basically, that's not how they serve their water in general. Am I correct? So you're asking for yours to be customized, and that is within your right. And if they have the lemon or lime, then it adds to their service by them now offering to do this for you. Good. And that is something that you're going to remember. To be delighted is also another right. Okay. All right. How are we thus far? Good. Understanding?
Yes, miss.
Fantastic. Let us continue. So I started off by saying that we have our internal customers and we have our external customers. Can you identify someone who would be considered as an internal customer?
Persons that
Yes.
are there.
Go ahead.
Would it be persons that are there online, like online basis, like on social media?
Okay, all right. No. Anyone else? Go ahead.
Would it be locally?
No.
Internally?
Miss,
yes.
One example could be the employees of a company or organization.
Ah, good. So your employees are considered internal customers. So the persons that are ordering online from you, spending money with you, those persons are external customers. And we're going to take a look at them. So it says that our business, we serve different types of customers, right? And we have the internal and the external. Now let us look at this chart. So our chart here, what we have done is that we have separated them and break it down a little bit more so that you can get a better understanding. So let us look at them. So we have shareholders and investors, and these are the persons, of course, who would have financed the start of the business. So for example, I'm a shareholder of my company, right? So I have shares in the company. I'm an internal customer. Good. The managers, they're also internal customers. They are working for and with the company. The staff and other team members, they are also internal customers. The community within which you operate are considered external customers. The person that are spending their money, they are also external customers. You also have your suppliers and support, and your suppliers are also external customers. Everyone is with me? Following? Yes?
Yes, miss.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Wait a minute. What you say about the external customers?
I said a lot of things. What specifically? I said that the community within which you operate, those are external customers. The persons that are spending their money with you, those are also external customers. Good? Okay. All right. So
Yes.
know that we have identified the different groups, let us take a look at some of the things that they want, and of course we'll have an appreciation for. So the shareholders, what does the shareholders want? Anyone want to jump in and read those for me quickly? Shareholders and investors. As a shareholder in a company, what do I want?
You
Trust, loyalty, accountability, profitability, respect, uh, responsiveness, and obedience.
Fantastic. So as a shareholder, I want to be able to trust the other persons on my team. Good. I want accountability. I want to know that they are loyal to the company. Good. And we're all on the same page as it relates to achieving the goals and objectives of the company. Definitely want profitability. It was said by Dr. Williams earlier that some get into business because they want to make a profit. And that's definitely me right up there. I'm not getting into business. If it's a non-for-profit, it's a non-for-profit. And that's fine. We can understand that because we do have non-for-profit entities. However, for me, it's about the profit. Entrepreneurship comes with so many disadvantages that if you're going to make these sacrifices, if you're going to endure the risk associated with entrepreneurship, I need to see the profit. I need to see the profit. That's very important. Good. Respect, responsiveness from my team in terms of, okay, meeting deadlines and so forth, doing things when you're supposed to do them, things like that. As a manager, what it is that our managers want. They want autonomy. So we must acknowledge the fact that they are the managers and we are reporting to them, whomever is reporting to them, right? They want respect among staff, because when staff members have respect for each other, guess what happened to the relationship? We have a better working relationship. And let us not forget the fact that earlier, we did mention that customer service is built on the foundation of relationship. The next thing is managers want recognition for their hard work. How are you going to recognize them? It might be some sort of promotion. It might be profit sharing at the end of the year. It might be some sort of certificate in recognition of their hard work and dedication to the company. It might be some sort of recognition as a good leader. Not all managers are good leaders. To manage people is really so much different from really leading with effectiveness, right? And empathy. They want to be rewarded and they want cooperation. Now, as a staff member, what do we want? We want to feel appreciated. Yes, we know that we're doing our job, and yes, we know that we're being paid for our job, but we still want to feel appreciated. And in most cases, there are times when we are going above and beyond to get the job done because life, work, environment, and so forth have become so demanding. Like here in Jamaica, we are no longer moving at a slow pace. We're now moving at a fast pace, a faster pace than when I was much younger, right? They want rewards and benefits as well. They also want respect for their managers. So yes, the manager wants respect among staff members and want respect from staff members. And staff members also want to be respected by their managers and their peers, right? Empathy, putting yourself into my position, understanding where I'm coming from, whether or not you agree with me, and having some level of respect for that, right? As a team member is normally at work early or on time, and normally quite vibrant and bubbly. However, this morning they came in late and the face is not so chirpy. Is it the first thing that you're going to do? Oh, you're late. Or are you going to show some empathy? Okay, something is not right. Maybe quietly, are you okay? Is everything okay? Would you like to talk about it? You understand what I mean? But you don't know what the person is going through. And it would mean that if you can pick up on that, it would mean that you are paying attention, you're showing empathy, and it would mean that, hey, you care about the relationship with that individual. Good. All right. So your external customers, what do they want from you? They want to know that they can trust doing business with you. That's important, right? They want to know that whatever confidential information is shared with you as a service provider will remain confidential. It will not be shared outside of the business or outside of what it should be used for. If you have person's information online, you have some sort of security mechanism in place to protect people's data, all of those things. They want transparency. So what is happening? What's going on in there? You know, things like that. I'm not sure if you guys follow international news, but for example, there's some shady things going on in China now, and the housing market is collapsing, and banks holding on to people's money, and they're having protests and things like that. And it is as a result of the fact that they have not been transparent, and persons have been paying down payments and paying for houses and things like that, and the developers have not been using the money to develop the houses. Instead, they have been using the money to acquire additional land because they want to just own so much of it. And now the market is collapsing. Again, why? Lack of transparency. And things can collapse as a result of that, right? Value. They want to know that when they're spending their money with you, they're getting value for their money. They want to know that you're committed. You're committed to the service that you're offering. You're committed to the company, so they can know that, okay, I'm going to come and do business with you today. I want to come back tomorrow, and I can bet my money. I can put down my money on it that, okay, you're gonna be there tomorrow because you're committed to what it is that you'll do. Again, empathy, being considerate, putting yourself in the shoe of your customers. Good. And we're seeing the word relationship. So you continue to develop that relationship with your customers. The environment, the community, they are our external customers as well. And what do they want from us? They want to know about your offering. What are you offering? They want to know that you're going to be sustainable. So you come in this community to operate your business, you are going to be sustainable, right? They also want to know that you're going to have some sort of social responsibility. Do we understand what we talk about when we talk about social responsibility? How are you going to contribute socially to the development of this community? It could be that you're making it a company policy to employ X percentage of persons within the community and its surroundings. It could be that you're adopting a basic school, you are contributing to a community center, you know, things like that. Maybe they have a football club in the community. How can you contribute to that? Those are some of the things, and they want to know that you are a responsible business because they need to be able to rely on you. So, repeating again, that customer service is built on the foundation of relationship, but going through, you will also see the word empathy quite often. Good. Let me have a check-in. Let me ensure that everyone is still here. Everyone is still with me. Yes?
Here.
All right, fantastic.
Yes, miss.
Everyone enjoyed the session thus far?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Yes.
All right, good. Now, some basic needs, and we're going to go through these quickly, so try to follow me a little. So we have friendliness, we're seeing empathy, again, we're seeing fairness, we're seeing control and information, and we're going to go through each of them. So when we talk about friendliness, what are we talking about? Serving each other with what? A beautiful smile and warmth, right? So there's something that we normally talk about when we talk about answering the phone. So here, in terms of friendliness as it relates to answering the phone, we say that answer the phone with a smile. Though they cannot see your face, they can hear the smile in your voice. So bear that in mind. Then we have empathy. We spoke about that already. Basically, just having an appreciation for the needs and the wants of your customers and putting yourself in their position. If this was me, okay, what would I want? How would I want to be treated? Things like that. And guess what, guys? We too can be difficult customers at times. And we all have bad days. We all have good days when the energy level is high and we're in an excellent mood. And there are other times when we're not in the best of mood. And the least little thing gets us upset. But just remember that when we're having our problem and we're serving others, the problem is not necessarily the person. Let us attack situations and not individuals. Good? All right. Fairness. So fairness has to do with adequate, basically attention, right? So how are you dealing with the matter at hand? Are you being fair? Are you being balanced? Let us say, for example, you are serving more than one customer at a time. How do you address this matter? You have a customer in front of you that you're cashing out. Let us use a cashier, for example. You have another customer approaching you to ask a question, and there's a phone beside it that is ringing. Anyone want to take that scenario? How would you address that? Anyone? Go ahead for me, Britannia.
I will deal with the customer that's cashing. Let's get that out of the way. And then I'll answer, and then I will answer the phone and put the person on hold and then answer the question and then talk back to the person. Deal with the person on the phone for last.
Oh, good. Oh, okay. All right, interesting. Good strategy. The only thing that I would say is the person that wants to ask you the question, you ask the person, okay, I'll address you in a few seconds if you can just allow me to finish catch up this customer and then. So everyone everyone there will know exactly what is happening. So no one will feel as if, because even though that's a good strategy, to them, they're not 100% certain what is happening. Okay, all right, so is she gonna answer my question? Yes or no? Like, I just want to ask a question and move on. You understand what I mean? Or while you're cashing, you can just say to the person, okay, all right, just give me 1 second, let me just say what she said. Since she's just asking a question, so you can do it either way, but ensure that there is communication across the board. And the person that is calling, they cannot see what is happening in the space. So it is good that you, okay, answer the phone, and then you don't just put them on hold, you ask their permission if it is okay to put them on hold. Or if they would like for you to call them back, then you take their information. But either way, it's always good to take their information, whether or not you're going to put them on hold or call them back. So if the call is disconnected, and you had them on hold, then you can always call them back. And please don't have them waiting for too long. But good strategy. Excellent. Okay. All right.
May I add
So
to that?
control. Yes, go ahead.
If it's a situation where the person on the phone is like rushing or something, then you could ask them if it is okay for you to transfer their call to someone else because you have a customer waiting in front of you.
Good. Another excellent suggestion. Very good. So if it is that you are not available to address their query right now, then you can hand over the matter to someone else. Very good. All right. Control. So let us think about control for a second. So when I talk about control, guys, I want to know that, okay, my needs, my wants, my opinion, and so forth have some sort of bearing on what it is that you're offering me. And this is where customization also comes in. So you would have taken into consideration, okay, what do I want? What are their needs? And then you are offering your products and services in line with that. You're selling phones. A good thing is what? Accessories to go with the phone. So you'd have taken into consideration, okay, so if they're buying mobile phones, they want to protect the phones, don't. So it's good to have screen protectors, cases, chargers, maybe AirPods. Hold on, did I just got a name? Are you guys still hearing me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Okay, all right. So information. We spoke about the right of customers to make informed decisions. But if you do not provide them with information, as I've said before, then you have taken away that right from them. So you want to provide information and you also want to demonstrate. So you want to tell them how things are done, how to do this, you know, the steps, procedures, things like that. And you also can demonstrate, you can show. And with the advancements in technology and social media, that is so easy right now because you can make creative videos and things like that to show persons how to do things, how to use things, how to maneuver here and things like that. And it's so much more impactful, so much more effective because persons are moving away from deeper reading to listening to songs as well as watching videos. Good? All right. Where am I for time? Okay, so have a few more and then 1 second. Have a few more slides and then we'll have some questions, right? Question and answer session. So I want to quickly go through what I call the elements of quality customer service. So the first one is reliability. And the action strategy here is that when you are delivering your products and services, ensure that, I think I said it before, ensure that you are identifying the needs of the customers. And guess what happened? When you have done that, only promise what you know you are in a position and can deliver. Listen to me. If you cannot deliver it, don't make a promise because then customers will not trust you, right? Because they can't rely on you. The next one is assurance. So when it comes to assurance, it's about delivering confidently, right? So again, you're earning the trust of your customers. You're saying to them, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm doing. You're being assertive about it and with confidence. Good? All right. The next thing is tangible. So the things that I can see, the things that I can feel, and things like that. So how are these things looking? Are you presentable? What is the environment like? Is it clean? Do you have a particular color scheme? Do you have uniform? What does your brand look like? Things like that, things that I can see. Can I trust it based on what I've seen? I've been to a doctor's office before. It was an emergency situation. And when I stepped in, I was like, oh my God, I was just so nervous. I had absolutely no trust in the doctor because of the fact that the space was untidy. The space was untidy. All I saw as a result of that was confusion. Can I trust you to do this? Like, I think it was a situation many years ago though. My son had an infection. He was just having pain. Couldn't figure out what was happening, and I had to rush him to a doctor. And that's the one that I found at the time. And when I went into the man's office, oh my God, he had absolutely no space on his desk. And the things were just piled up all over there in no specific order. The office was untidy. And I just felt confused being in there, and I had absolutely no trust. Right? So how you present yourself is gonna be important. Empathy, I will see that coming back again, and I don't think I need to go back to that element, right? But the last one is responsiveness. So a can-do attitude and doing things on time. So this is what I normally recommend if you want to exceed the expectations of customers. If you know that you can deliver in 3 days, tell customers 4 of that and then deliver in 3. Because what is going to happen? Wow, I'm impressed. They did say that this would have taken 5 days, but this is day 3. Now, if you give them the exact time and something should happen, what you have done is you have not left any breathing space for we call this now unplanned circumstances, things that might pop up. You understand what I mean? So you give yourself some breathing space. Good. All right. Let me see. Give me a second. Let me see what else I wanted to go through with you guys. Okay, let us look at the data on the screen. Now, the data here is saying that, and I think I did say it before as well, that I'm willing to pay a little bit more for better service. So customers will spend up to 10% more for the same product with better service. When customers receive good service, they tell 10 to 12 on average. Guys, this is old-fashioned ways of telling. I'm going to tell you why. When they receive poor service, they tell up to 20. Why did I say that this is old-fashioned way of telling? Anyone?
Because this was before things like
You're breaking up,
social
not
media.
hearing you. Okay, I heard the last part, which is what I want to hear. Because this was before social media. So guess what is happening now with social media, people? I am telling the world, I'm telling thousands, hundreds of thousands, and within a short time span, right? Guys, if I just post a text, it's going to be so impactful. If I should ever do a video, much more impactful. If I should ever go live and then save and share the live, and everyone in my circle is watching it, and then they themselves, they're sharing it, and then their network is sharing. So you see how powerful social media has become? Now, I must tell you that there are lots of brands out there that they are paying for claims, not necessarily because the customer is right, not necessarily because the customer is correct in what it is that they have complained to the company about, but because of the potential damage to the brand, whether or not they are correct, right? And some customers are aware of this because the brand identity of companies is so valuable that one post can damage it significantly. So it's better for me to just quietly deal with this, give you a prize, an award, a reward, whatever it is, some sort of compensation, to let it go away, despite the fact that you lied, despite the fact that there was nothing wrong with the product. And when we did our internal investigation and backtrack and we check everything, basically you lied. We're still gonna pay you because we are protecting our brand identity. Good? All right, let me see. I think one last thing I want to share with you guys before we move on. So before, during, and after. So we have customer service and we're offering customer service at different stages. We have before, we have during, and we have after. Because we're strapped for time, I'm just going to go down into it by sharing a situation with you. So this is a restaurant, and this is what it is at the different stages. So here, before, what you're doing is that you're greeting the customer, make them feel welcome, things like that, seat them, offer them the menu. When it's doing and they're ready to spend their money with you by ordering and so forth, and you offer them water, you serve them their meal with a smile, within good timing, so they're not waiting for too long, things like that. After they've had their meal, you clear their table and you give them their check, you find out how was the meal, right? And you can even go a little bit deeper by even after they have left, because you can collect customer data, and a lot of companies, they have been doing that for a number of years now, and we're seeing where that is increasing, where if you have their data, you can send them a message after to say, thanks for dining with us, and we hope to see you again, things like that. Hope you enjoyed your meal. Next time you can probably check out, a particular item on the menu. Those are some of the things. And now I want for you to think about a few things. One, we have our internal customers and we have, let me hear it.
External.
We have our internal and we have our external. Two keywords that we spoke about quite often, right throughout the slide: relationship and
friendliness. I'm not sure.
Come on, guys. Empathy. Thank you very much. We spoke about the rights of the customers and we discussed quite a number of them. Can you remind me of two?
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness. Rights of the customer.
Right. Informed decision.
To make informed decision. And I think I heard someone said something about to negotiate. Good. And now we're also looking at customer service at the different stages. Good. And we spoke about the data a little. So what you're going to find based on the data that we shared is that persons will talk more about the bad news, right? So they're going to spread that. Why do you believe that everything that comes on the news is all negative? Crime, accidents, you name it, and not How many persons were baptized at church yesterday? How many beautiful babies were born? How many successful entrepreneurs met their target for the month of July? Who going into export? Someone in the chat earlier was talking about exporting, you know, all of these things. Because what happened? Bad news. So, and the media is aware of that, right? And as I did say earlier, that excellent customer service is supposed to be the norm. So if I could get good service, I don't necessarily have to speak about it. But if and I do speak about it. However, when I get bad service, that's definitely outside of the norm. So I definitely need to tell everyone. And I need to tell people to stay clear of this business, and I need to develop a case around it, and I need to use it in training sessions and things like that. Good. All right. So I think we can wrap up here and then move into our questions. Yes. Tamara? Tamara?
Hi, so sorry, I was muted. My apologies, Erica.
Okay.
All right, well, I must say thank you so much for your presentation. I really did appreciate the fact that you went through the stages with the team. I think it was something that was very much important for them to know. You know, funny enough, my mom was even listening in on your lecture, and she was saying that you're very straightforward and, you know, you're very easy to follow. So props to you as well for just, you know, doing your thing and ensuring that everyone understood what was happening. So
Okay,
I'm going
well,
to, yeah, man. So I'm going
the
to
floor
move.
is open for questions.
Yes, the floor is open to
Okay.
questions. I'm going to move on over to Chadwick, who I believe has our question sheet. I think Doc is also still here with us. So Doc, you can, for 1 second, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Yeah, Doc Williams, you can get yourself set up on the question segment, and Chadwick will moderate from there.
Okay, fine. I'm here. Thanks for your info, Erica.
Yes.
Very important, very interesting. Do you hear me better with the mic, with the headpiece, or without? Erica?
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
Okay, all right, fine. Yeah.
I'm not seeing you, so I'm not sure
No,
which
no,
you're using, but I'm hearing you.
I hadn't activated my video. I hadn't activated I'd only activated the mic.
Okay.
Who's on now? Who's moderating?
So I'm here. No question.
Yeah, somebody should. I'm getting rains in my side of the world, so hence I lost. Well, there were 2 short power outages. Pardon me?
Okay. Well, I'm not really seeing any questions in the chat.
Yes,
so.
Erica, so we're in Nalia. She says she has 2 questions.
Okay.
No, I was just commenting that I had 2 power outages too, but I had 1 question.
Okay, Nalia, thank you. But you have been participating significantly.
I had 1 question for the previous presentation.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Dr. Williams.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So Dr. Williams, my question is this. What are some of the ways or the best ways you believe that small business owners can promote their businesses without using social media?
Wow. Well, if you go by the traditional approach, and Erica can help me there. The old time approach was the radio, the television, and the newspaper. Social media has taken, and then you can also set up your own website. It doesn't cost a lot of money, and you can create your own social media page. But once you create your social media page, you will have to ensure that your social media watchers, use the term watchers, are aware. So let's go back to my example of you selling. You linked with a shoemaker in St. Elizabeth who makes very good shoes, genuine leather, neatly done, modern style, and you want to be able to market that. You can create your own website. You let everybody who you know, and you ask them to pass the word on. I have a website. If you go onto my website, you will see pictures of the shoe, and you will also see the price. You can click and make your order. So that's really the in thing now, because radio, television is very expensive, number one, and number two, we are sort of losing our reading skills, so we really don't read the newspaper. So to say that you're going to advertise in the newspaper it may be a no at this point. So it would be creating, my suggestion, your own media, social media page, your website, etc. Would you add to that?
I can. So since you mentioned website, guys, you can use Wix to create a free website. You don't have to pay for it. Guys, you can also utilize Gumroad. So Gumroad is international, and Gumroad has its own advertising. So they have the space where they'll advertise for you. So you can check out Gumroad because you can earn money on Gumroad with your services, and you can also utilize it for products. So you can share that link now on your WhatsApp status. You can send it to family members and ask them to share it. And then you can see the analytics in terms of the visits. Now, something that I would also recommend highly is that identify a few loyal customers and have them become cheerleaders. So you're gonna have to work on the relationship with those customers. When you have a few cheerleaders, guess what happens? They will advertise your business for you. And that is the most effective. Word of mouth, positive word of mouth is the most effective form of advertising. Another thing that you can also do, so you're sharing your business within your circle, and you're asking them to share your business within their circle. You can also check out associations. So you have different associations. You have the Small Business Association, you have the Young Entrepreneurs Association, and Young Entrepreneurs Association, they do have student membership. So your business will be on their website. The members within the association will become aware of your business and things like that. So there are so many creative ways within which you can promote your business without it even being on social media. However, I'm certain you know the impact on the effectiveness of social media. So as I've said, I would go back to getting those cheerleaders and have them promote your business for you. And listen, you have status You have email and you can put your signature in your email. There are so many ways within which you can promote your business. When you go on the road, you're telling others. When you go to, and you do business with other businesses, you can find out, is it okay for me to leave some flyers here? When you go to some business, you see flyers of other businesses in their space, and what they're doing is that they're giving businesses the opportunity to advertise in their space. So sit, analyze your business. What is going to work for my business? And then take that approach.
I quickly want to just
answer your question.
okay. I'll just add to that. They're the members of the team are members of church groups. They are in Rotary. They are in these different service clubs, and that's an avenue now that, as you mentioned, now those persons who can you link with your friends, your group members, and then they'll spread the word for you.
Yes.
So much for answering. The reason why I asked was because I've only ever seen, well, social media advertising, especially for small businesses. And apart from Instagram, I don't really hear anything much about them. So listen up, people, you get answers.
Well, why you have seen Instagram so much because of the effectiveness of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are there any other questions? Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. So it's like no other questions are asked. Well, I am very much happy that this session was had, and I'm very happy that Dr. Williams and Mrs. Donaldson were here today to present on their respective topics. Customer service is definitely an important thing to know, even though it's something that people may look over. It's a very important topic and something that must be addressed, especially if we're talking about something as common as business fundamentals. So thank you again, Dr. Williams, for your presentation on the information that was gathered. We definitely appreciate you, and we appreciate the UTECH team for coming on board today. To close off our lovely bootcamp session, I'm going to ask our engager, Jordan Hills, to now give his final thoughts.
Good afternoon, everyone, and our lovely presenters. So I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out today and for delivering and for being engaging in the chat. To our presenters, I really love the session. I like the information. I want to ask if your presentations can be sent to us so that we can distribute it to our audience and I can peruse it for my personal benefit. I'm really sorry that our engager, or other engager, Chadwick, got disconnected from the session. So our Q&A session was a little bit delayed, but I checked the log sheet and all the questions were answered previously in Dr. Williams' session. I'm going to ask if anyone has any final questions, if they want to unmute right now or raise their hand, or they can drop it in the chat and so we can facilitate you before we close off. Going once, going twice, anyone? Are we all good? Okay, awesome. Thanks, Nahalia. So I'm going to close off the session for today. Looking forward to seeing you guys on Thursday's bootcamp session. That's on information technology. Remember, if you're enrolled in the course, it is mandatory that you attend it. And remember, we have a webinar on Friday. More information will be sent out momentarily. Do enjoy the rest of your day, and